One of the things that I'm seeing online right now is what is called a trust recession. You have deepfakes, you have scams, you have bots, you have text messages. Imagine being somebody online who's actually digesting content right now. They're probably going, well, I don't even know if this guy's real or it's fake. Only about 37% of people trust content that they see on social media. And yet 84% of consumers say being treated like a person is the key to earning their business. People are just trying to find shortcuts to building relationships with people online. I am going to go through the 3-step framework that's going to allow you to build deeper trust, deeper connection, and actually build a relationship with people online. Welcome to Built to Tell. I am Mike Liguori. I've been working in the media industry since 2012, and I have worked with everyone from the Fortune 500 all the way down to Super Bowl champions, high-performing physicians, and entrepreneurs. And my mission in life is to help you tell a better story, connect with your audience, and turn those people from fans to raving customers, all right? As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, we're going through what I call a trust recession. And I'm not going to take credit for even giving it that name. There is other people out there who have probably used that name before. I can actually guarantee it. But let's talk about exactly what is happening right now online. And it is no secret. People just aren't buying like they used to. And not only that, people are just not trusting what they're seeing online right now. And if you're a founder, a creator, or an entrepreneur who has seen declining sales, who have seen people not share your content, who have seen people not really want to connect with you or work with you, chances are you are suffering from this trust recession. AI has been such a disruptive technology for us that the fact that we're even talking about trust online is not surprising. You have deepfakes, you have scams, you have bots, you have text messages, phone calls from like robo scammers. It is all over the place of people just berating you, trying to get your precious and valuable information. So you could only imagine that not only as an entrepreneur is this disrupting your chances of building a relationship online, but imagine being the consumer. Imagine being somebody online who's actually digesting content right now. They're probably going, well, I don't even know if this guy's real or it's fake. And then if you combine that with the rise of these AI avatars, no wonder that people don't know who to trust online. And it's becoming a really big issue. And so over the course of probably what I would say the last 10 to 15 years, we have seen trust go from an all-time high all the way down to an all-time low. And there's actually a study I want to read to you from Edelman that says the trust barometer says that only about 37% of people trust content that they see on social media. And yet 84% of consumers say being treated like a person is the key to earning their business. And so while AI is such a great technology and so many of us are using it to grow and scale our businesses and content, people still want to be treated like people. So why are we running into this problem? Well, I believe we're running into this problem because people are just trying to find shortcuts to building relationships with people online. And it's gotten to the point where so many people have bought content, they've bought courses, they've bought products and programs that there are people out there who are not fulfilling their promise. You pay for a service, you pay for a product online, and they're simply just not giving to you what they promised you. They're not even fulfilling their guarantees, or they ghost you, or they take your money, or they overcharge you. We have seen it everywhere across the board. I've even seen it being an agency owner with my team that there are people that have come to us talking about that they worked with another agency that they saw online that said they didn't do what they say they were going to do. And you can imagine how much distrust is being built with somebody who paid all of this money to have a premium service be done, to not have that service be fulfilled. It's incredibly frustrating. I'm sure that you see that across the board with your customers, and you see that across the board with your audience, or if you're thinking about building an audience right now, that's one of the things that you're just going to have to be aware of, is that people's trust is at an all-time low. So one of the things I want to share with you about this is that a while back, early in my career, I focused so much on trying to churn out as much content as possible. And again, there are people probably watching this video going like, but yes, I need to post content every single day. I'm not here to talk about tactics. I'm here to talk about mindset and principles. I'm not here to talk about strategies and tactics. There are people out there who do that way better than I do, and they know those tactics incredibly well. And listen, those tactics work. I have used those tactics myself. What I'm here to talk about is a little bit more philosophical, a little bit more strategy and foundation, and just a much deeper approach into building relationships online. And I remember a while back that I was sitting there going through data and analytics like a hawk. I was going through every single metric, from watch time to clicks to likes to comments, in hopes that I could actually create some sort of conversion of sales online. online. The goal was volume creates quantity, creates quality equals people are going to end up buying from you. And that's not always the case. Just because you create a bunch of content online, that doesn't mean that people are actually going to resonate with it. And one of the things that I struggled with was this idea that if I wasn't posting online every single day, that nobody was going to see me and I was going to get lost into the abyss. And this was incredibly frustrating for me. And it was so frustrating for me because I felt like no matter how much content that I created, I actually always felt like I fell behind. And I'm sure you can imagine that if you've been creating content online and you've been just going at it and you've just been working nonstop to build your brand online right now, you probably have pieces of content out there that nobody's liked, nobody's commented on, nobody's shared, and nobody has directly messaged you about trying to work with you. And I know that because I've been there and I have tried years and years to try to figure out why it is that whenever I go and I post a ton of content online that nobody likes it. And it wasn't until I discovered this framework that really changed the way that I started converting a lot of my conversations I was having with people at networking events and through referrals into loyal customers. And a lot of my customers have been with me for such an incredibly long time because I have used this framework. The way that I use this framework is coming from a place of being of service to the people that I want to do business with. There is no gimmicks. There is no tactics or hacks to this. There is no shortcuts. It's just following the framework, being of service, and showing up as your authentic self. Just to wrap up this story here, the reason why it was so hard for me was because all I was doing was just flooding people's timelines. And I was just creating more work and I was creating more work for myself. And the thing is that there was no heartfelt energy behind it. I was just trying to cut up a bunch of tweets. I was trying to repurpose as much content as I possibly could, just in hopes that somebody would want to message me and do business with me online. And you could probably tell how frustrating that is when you do all of this work and nothing comes of it. And so it wasn't until I actually moved from this quantity approach to more of a strategic, authentic approach. I'm going to teach you right now the 3-step framework that I really think is going to put you in a position to have meaningful conversations with your audience. So the first one we're going to get into of the 3-step frameworks, this is called the trust framework. The first part of the trust framework is called intent. This is all about starting what's in your heart. And this is also starting with getting really clear, not just on your ideal customer avatar, but really what is the thing that is keeping them up at night? I think most of us don't answer those deep questions around the people that we want to serve. I think some of us maybe become a little bit self-involved and want to ask those questions ourselves, or we acknowledge through a book or some sort of YouTube video that we're watching now that we need to ask ourselves deep questions, right? The thing is that we ask ourselves these deep questions, but what we don't do is ask ourselves these deep questions on behalf of the people that we want to serve. So we don't ask ourselves, what are they doing? What's keeping them up at night? What are they struggling over? What is their stress points? And what is the thing that they really want to accomplish and achieve in their life? And I think if we start here with the intent part of it, it really gets away all of the distraction and the noise that we're absorbing online and how to stand out from the crowd and how to create this very, very clear message that people want to resonate with. And again, tactics and strategies work, and most of them do. But the thing is that if you really truly want to build a deep relationship with people that they pay you over and over and over again, and you continue to just do high quality, great service, it's got to start with the intent. You got to take all of the metrics and everything out of it, and you got to get really, really clear on what is the intention behind the piece of content or the conversation or this video or this podcast that I am creating right now in order for them. So that's what you want to start with, is the intent piece first and foremost. And an easy way that you can do this is that you can just take out a piece of paper and you can write down exactly what is my intention for filming this video. So my intention for filming this video is to teach you right now how to build trust with people by you showing up as you, not any sort of gimmick or tactic. I want you to show up as you, because if you can do that, you're really just showing up who you are. People were more than likely to trust you because you're just being you. And they want to be trusted, and people want to be treated like they're a human being. They don't want to be seen as just a number. And again, there are no shortcuts to building relationships. You have to put the time and the energy into it. So get really clear on your intention. Make sure you go as deep as you possibly can. Some questions to think about is, what is the intention of making this content? Why am I making this content? How is this going to help people online? Because one, if you're posting this on YouTube right now, more than likely it's going to be free. Two, if it's in a podcast format, more than likely it's going to be free as well. So this is free content that you are giving to people. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what is the intention of me creating this type of content? That's the first step in the trust framework. And then the second part of the trust framework is the story part. Now, you really, really got to nail the story part here. If you don't nail the story part here, you're going to completely lose your audience. You're going to lose your customer. You're going to lose any sort of prospect, because the story is the way that you connect with them. Meaning you are using a story to help them see and understand where they are now and where they could be through the lens of a personal story that you are telling them. Or maybe it's a story that you're sharing with them about a client that you interacted with, maybe a friend that you helped in need. Whatever the case may be, this story you have to nail. And the way that you can really nail this story is that you really have to make sure that the intent that you did in step one is integrated into the story piece. So you got to get really clear again on the intention piece, then you got to go into the story piece. And some of the best stories are before and afters. Before Paul was the jacked, ripped dude that we see online, he was 50 pounds overweight, eating junk food on a couch, feeling really sorry for himself. And what transpired for Paul, and I'm just giving you an example here, is Paul realized one day he didn't want to be overweight anymore. He actually wanted to be jacked and ripped. And so Paul decided to get up off the couch and start moving his body. Now, that's just a simple way of me conveying a story. You can go as deep and as elaborate as you want. But the purpose of this is that you really want to make sure that you're getting to the heart of the matter and that you are connecting with the person that you want to listen and view your story. You want them to make sure that when they hear you talk, they go, this guy gets me, or this woman gets me, or wow, this business is the place that I have been looking for to help me get new shoes, or help me run faster, or get my life turned around financially or physically or emotionally, whatever the case may be. You got to get the story nailed. All right. So in the trust framework, once you establish the intent, you need to go right into the story and pick a really good story. And if you don't know what story that is, what you can do is you can actually take a piece of paper. And again, I love writing things out. So you probably hear me saying this a lot, that take a notebook out and start writing it. But if you feel more comfortable using Apple Notes or any sort of Notion doc, feel free to choose whatever works for you. But when you write this out, go into the story piece and say, what is it that I want the person to take away from me telling this specific story? And it's very important that you get into the details of the matter. Details matter in this entire framework. So the more detailed you are, the easier it's going to be for you to set really good content, to really convey the customer avatar story. And you're giving an invitation to that person to work with you, which is step 3 of the trust framework, which I call the way. The way is the path in which you are going to show this person, now that I've shown you the intent, now I've told you a story to help you see that I get you and that I understand you, said customer or audience member. Now I'm going to give you an opportunity to come work with me. And I'm going to carve out this path for you. And I'm going to show you the way. And I'm going to show you what it looks like for you and I to work together. We're not talking about offers here. All right. That's a different conversation. We're not talking about low ticket, high ticket. We're not talking about group coaching. Those are all things that are the fulfillment piece on the back end of this framework. What we're talking about right now is a way for you to really connect with people. So I want you to remember that this is not about where do I funnel them to, or Mike, how do I get them to buy from me? This is not about that. People will buy from you if they trust you. I want you to hear me say that again. People will buy from you if they trust you. So all you have to do is now show them the way. So Paul, you've heard this story. Or John, listen, I'm shedding my intention with you very clearly. I'm now have told you this great story about how Paul lost 40 pounds and decided to be this jacked, ripped dude. So here's an opportunity for you to come work with me. Maybe it's a lead magnet. Maybe it's a low ticket offer. Maybe it's just a book recommendation that you want to give them. Maybe it's for them to go watch another video where you go deeper into a topic. The point is the way has to be clear because people don't want friction in any sort of transformation when it comes to their life. They don't want anything to make it seem like they have to do more work than what they've already done in watching your content or listening to your content. They simply want something that's easy, that's free, and that's frictionless. The way has to follow those. It has to be easy, it has to be free, and it has to be frictionless. Now, I'm not talking about free from monetization. I'm talking about free as in it's just free and easy. It's just a free way to go. It's just really, really clear that I just got to take this first step and my entire life will change. And if you convey the way in a manner that doesn't make it seem like they know what to do, you've lost them. And most people really trip up over this part of the way because what happens is they're trying to figure out, well, where do I direct them? What's my offer? What do I get them to opt into? And it's not about that. What it's really about is you creating an opportunity for them to transform their life in an easy, free, and frictionless way. So the way could be an invite. The way could be a call. The way could be a book. I'll leave that up to you. But this 3-step trust framework is so powerful and it's so vital because it gives people an opportunity to see that you're actually wanting to help them, that you're actually wanting to build a relationship with them. And if you follow this framework, people will be more inclined to want to entertain any sort of free offer that you have because the energy is there, because the intent is there, the story is really clear, and the way that you told them to come work with you or to grab another resource or to grab another piece of value to them is also easy, free, and frictionless. That's how you're going to build trust because now the most simple part about this entire trust framework is not just the 3 steps, but it's you just following through on what you say you were going to do. And if you can do that, you will have more people coming into your business who want to work with you. You will feel good following through on your purpose, all because you've stepped up and do what you say you were going to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Built to Tell podcast. If you like what you heard or you're checking this out on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell to get notified for the next video that drops on this channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.